Hello, divine man. Hello, divine woman. And welcome to this safe space. If you don't know me by now, my name is Ashley. I am the owner and CEO of Empress Energy, and I love to express myself through YouTube through this series called Healing Behind the Scenes, where I talk about many different topics that are related to healing and just go over things that people don't really talk about because healing is not fun most of the time. It requires being uncomfortable, and it's kind of hard to maneuver through healing when people don't really talk about it. So I know there's a few people out there that are getting more open to talking about healing. I've seen a lot of psychologists and therapists and counselors popping up. I'm not any of those. I am just a regular person like you and everybody else just trying to get through this thing called a life. So, if you enjoy this content that you're hearing on this chapter or any other chapter or any of my other videos and shorts, please do not hesitate to like the video, comment below, and even subscribe. That helps get this information to those that could really use it, as well as making sure that we're accessible to you when you want more information and just to be in the know of anything new popping up. So, life has definitely been very interesting. And what I kind of wanted to talk about was like a few moments ago. What popped up in my head was how we attract the people, no, the people we attract, they normally show us something within ourselves that need to be healed or need to be worked on, right? So boom, we attract people that are very similar to how we approach certain things in life. And so, I've just been doing me and focusing more on my businesses, and I've had like this imposter syndrome for a little bit, and I was just about to say I should probably do that in another video, but actually I think it aligns with this video. So I guess we're going to talk about it. So as far as the imposter syndrome I've been feeling, it's like, okay, for since I was a child, I've always said that I wanted to work for myself. Before it was, me being a pediatrician, moving on to everybody telling me that one day I will be a pastor's wife, which is in a way having your own business. You're basically an entrepreneur. And to most recently, the businesses that I have, which is Empress Energy, which is more on the spiritual side, and the new company that I started back in October, which is called Eugene Consulting Inc. I'm actually going to be launching that very soon. So again, if you're interested in staying in the know, please don't hesitate to subscribe. But, with these businesses that I've opened, because, for a long time it was always, I want to do this, I want to do this. And then I actually did it, right? But, like, doing all of that, it didn't look and feel how other entrepreneurs uh I guess make their businesses and their attitude look and feel. I'll give you an example. I was in the know of this one individual. I was, I guess you can say, friends or whatever. We were right. We were cool. But this individual, based off of what I know, had a few businesses, and this individual was always busy doing something for business, always doing something for business. It was always something for business. And so, it was, as an entrepreneur, personally, I would think to myself several times, like, I'm not busy like this person am I not doing enough? Like it made me question my validity as an entrepreneur. And it had me feeling self-conscious. Again, this is a healing space, a safe healing space. We're completely transparent. It made me feel self-conscious a little bit. For a while, I actually, in addition to grieving, I had actually gotten to the point where I was really contemplating last year, should I even continue business or start the second business that I have? Because it's like, this person is working so hard. I don't see myself doing what this person does. And it had me to the point where I was just questioning everything because I'm like, at this point, like, what is my purpose in the world? I know it probably sounds silly as heck. If you can relate, then you know. If you cannot, you can either keep listening or you can hop off. But either way, like it really had me second guessing myself and my intentions because my goal in life always was to have my own businesses, making good money and making a change and being able to travel, see the world, and just be more open to other environments. And watching this individual always talking about work, 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 I'm like, I guess it made me feel like my dream wasn't shit. Like the goals that I had, it was invalid because I did not see myself, nor was I working that hard. I can even think of people like Elon Musk, right? They're talking about doing 80 hours a week, 160 hours a week. And honestly, that is not the type of life that I want to live. Yes, I want to make money, but I don't want to make money, like be so concerned with making money that I miss out on life, you know? So it really had me in my feels for the past year, in addition to the grieving I've been doing. And I just, I felt like all my purpose was lost. I was questioning everything. And so leading up to the new year and even after the new year, I just started thinking that that's what I needed to do to be successful because I wasn't seeing the progress that I wanted to see in my businesses. And so I'm like, okay, maybe I need to do more. Maybe I need to do this. Maybe I need to do that. I was saying it, but I was not doing it. And then that started beating me up. And long story short, it was beating me up until most recently. Actually, it has been beating me up until this very moment. Because, you know how you think something, but you don't really acknowledge it? Well, in this moment, you're going to be my witness as I acknowledge that that is not the life for me. I refuse to spend every hour of every day chasing money and letting life pass me by. I saw a few videos, I want to say back in December, where, it was people that were on their deathbed or they had lived 50, 60, 70, 80, even 90 plus years. And they were talking about the regrets that they had in their lives, or they're on their deathbed and they were sharing the regrets that they had. And a lot of them talked about, like not having enough fun or just working too much and not traveling and so on and so forth. And that was something that I had always known in the back of my mind, but I never truly processed it, where it was like, yes, of course we do need to make money to live and survive, but we need to be able to get to the point where we can have a healthy relationship with money and understand that, like what is for us is going to come to us. I'm not discrediting working. I'm not saying don't work. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is we have to find that balance between being a responsible adult and being able to provide for ourselves and our families versus letting our inner child smile and live his or her best life. I hope that makes sense. Basically, if I go with the viewpoints of that individual 20 years from now, I will look back on my life and have absolute regret. And for the past year, that was my, that's what was really putting me down. Because it's like, yeah, I want to make some money. I want to make money. I want to not have to worry about money and paying bills and everything. I want to have everything on auto and all that. But what is the cost? If I do it your way, the cost is me not taking advantage of the opportunities that are presenting themselves now, right? Like if I was to have an opportunity to travel now, where I'm not married, I don't have kids. If I was to get an opportunity right now to travel the world, I could do it without a problem. But if I go your route now and I get an opportunity like that, I'd have to turn it down. And then 20 years from now, knowing that I've always wanted to travel the world, 20 years from now, if I have kids and I'm married, I'm going to look back and be like, dang, I should have did it. Not that I can't do it then, but the mobility that I have now versus 20 years from now, completely different. If I want to get up and go somewhere, I can do that. When I get to the point where more responsibilities get like they start getting added to my plate, I won't have the luxury of doing what I can do now. And so that was the first thing, or that is the first thing. Understanding that everybody's story is different. I would like to think, when these people look back, they don't have any regrets. But at the same time, if I'm completely transparent, what is the cost of that? Right? How are your kids or your family going to be towards you? What if, the amount of work that you're doing now doesn't stop? If you're doing it so long, it takes what, 21, 28 days to build a habit? If you're doing this for years, do you think when you're at that quote unquote retiring age, you're going to just stop? Come on now. Okay. Okay. There's a lot of movies out there, but okay. If you say so. But then let's say you do stop. Let's say you do retire. And then what? What you going to do with your life? What, your children gonna resent you because you spent most of that time working, or like your god was money, and now they don't know you, or they don't it's just so many things that come into play, and I'm like, it's had me thinking of the future, and I didn't like what I saw, you know. I don't want to look out 20 years from now. I'm almost 50 or in my 50s, and I have nothing to show for it in my personal life, just money and a booming business. I think I'm okay on that. So, with that one individual, just to make it all make sense, that was the individual that I attracted to my life. And there was a lot of circumstances that made me feel self-conscious because I wasn't putting out as much as that individual was doing. So some lessons that I learned is, first and foremost, that individual coming into my life made me take a look at myself. Like, that was a mirror. It made me realize how much working I was doing and investing in other people's businesses and stuff, and not so much my own, right? Like, just putting my all into companies that don't really care for me if I can't do what they want me to do. So that was the first thing. It made me acknowledge that I needed to shift my perspective and my priorities, in the sense of, what do I want 20 years from now? What do I want 5 years from now? And am I on the right track to get it? So, lo and behold, this connection made me realize I actually want a family. I actually want to get married. I actually want to have a house. I want to make a house a home. And, I want that. But there are some changes I've had to make since that thought process to get to that point. And then I realized that my story does not have to be similar to that person's story. Our meeting was perpendicular, where, we ran into each other, taught each other lessons, and then keep it pushing. But those lessons are making me realize that the one thing that I've wanted, in addition, of course, to being an entrepreneur and working for myself and stuff like that, was to have my own family. And now I guess I could kind of say it kind of shifted me back on track, where I'm not focused so much so on just making money, but how to have a balanced life in every area. And so, just to tie this all together, whoever you attract into your life, they're normally a mirror. And if you're noticing behaviors within them that trigger you or that catch your attention in not the most positive way, sometimes, or most of the time, there's something that you need to look at within yourself. But then, the same way you're seeing the negatives, look at the positive. There's always something there, right? And then, just to wrap up all of that together, it's all working out. The messages that you are seeing or you don't feel like you're seeing, as you're getting these lessons from the individuals that you meet, and you work on them and you improve on them and you become better, those lessons will then start to show and what you experience next. So even if you hit that wall like I did and you feel like you're stuck or you're not headed on the right path, that's okay. Once you know you've acknowledged the lessons, just keep working on yourself. Just keep doing what you do and then watch everything fall into place. Before you know it, you're going to start seeing messages, hearing messages everywhere that are guiding you and leading you to where you need to be. And so, without further ado, have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you for the next chapter.